Hello everybody, welcome to video number 3. This video is going to be an explanation of what I've done for the video, on this video, for the refurbishment of both front torsion elastic arms and the repairs of such, and also all the front end framing that I had replaced and refurbished and reinforced. So this is going to have quite a lot of information in it, and I hope that it'll all be useful in the future for you to think about. The next couple of photos are going to show the damage that was found on the torsion elastic tubes after I removed the horizontal reinforcement that goes to the tubes. I can't emphasize any more in this movie than I am that this was dangerous. Inside the horizontal arm supports that were there, which allowed they were barely tack welded onto the arms themselves, but when I took them off, there was so much debris that was inside the arms that the debris broke down the strength of the tubes and the thickness of the tubes, and the rubber was trying to force itself out of the tubes. It was just barely starting to do that. So you can see that I would have had a lot of problems ahead of me going down the road should I drove it the way as it was. So not to discourage or anything like that, but take a close look at these pictures and see what I found, and then I'll show you how I tried to correct these problems. To fix the damaged tube, I decided to make what I'm going to call a clamshell. I had 1/8" plate metal that I purchased, and I cut it and I sort of measured it as to how big it should be to fit around the outside diameter of the torsion elastic tube. And I had it rolled, of course, to the diameter, and I brought it home and fitted it to each one of the tubes as I'd done it. This took a lot of time because I had to be real careful about welding this all on the entire length of the torsion elastic tube, because I didn't want to melt any of the rubber on the inside. So this took several days to do, and then of course then I had to make new arms, horizontal support arms that supported the torsion elastic tube. And this again, of course, was a considerable undertaking. I had to use, or I did use, a 1/4" diamond plate metal for this operation, because I wanted the support to be as solid as it could be. And then the support is completely seal welded around the arm, steel welded to the arm of the torsion elastic tube. This is to give it full integrity and everything like that, and also to prevent any more debris from getting inside the arm and rotting out the arm in the future. Of course, I will never live to see it long enough, but whoever owns this bus after me, that will never have to worry about that happening again. Here's a couple of photos of the completed torsion elastic refurbishment. It's all painted up nice and pretty, and I thought you would appreciate how they look after they are all completed and all the work has been done. And now she's all ready for wheel assembly when I get to that point, but that's a long way down the road yet. So now we start on the next project for the wheel, the front wheel wells. Starting the next project, I had to decide how I was going to reinforce all the framing in the wheel well area. I took off the siding off the bus, of course, just above the wheel well, and I found out that everything was just rotted right up to almost the floor level. So I had to come up with a plan. I was going to reinforce everything, and of course I came up with what I call is a double framing. And I've done this throughout the entire bus, to be honest with you. What it is every existing piece of angle iron that originally was rotted out and everything, I replaced that one piece, and then I installed another piece right on top of it, or inside of it, either way, so that this would have double the integrity of which it had originally. Of course, this was a lot of cost, a lot of time, but it was just something I overbuild, and this is what I chose to do. And so in these pictures you're going to see this throughout, and I hope you agree that it makes it look a lot much stronger. And but the only thing about it is it took a lot of time, a lot of welding. To give you an idea just how much welding involved, throughout the entire bus, the entire project, I used a 24 rolls of 10-pound MIG wire to do all the welding in the bus. That's 24 rolls, and you can imagine the amount of time this must have taken. Here's photos of the completed project of reinforcing the framing in the front of the bus wheel well. Now what you're going to see also is it's all painted up and looking pretty. Now after I'd done all this, then I took the time to, in areas that I could insulate, I insulated it before I put 11 gauge plate metal over the top to totally enclose the wheel well itself. They're covering all the angle iron and all tubing, and that's all been exposed in the past when it was first made, so that none of this can happen anymore, and also to help protect the bus and everything at the same time, of course. And all the new components that I put in, the air lines and the things like that there, and all the new air valves and the air tanks and everything. So all this takes a lot of time, and again, a lot of extra money, and I can't even begin to tell you what it would probably cost if I had to pay somebody to do it. I decided, as I was looking at the framing here, that I wanted to reinforce the forward and aft bulkhead supporting the torch elastic suspension. And what I did was I took 1.5-inch tubing and welded it underneath the original tubing that was there to support the one frame. And the torch elastic framing. And then, of course, after that, I took 3-inch angle iron, and I also welded that to the bottom of the two tubings that were above it, and I seal welded everything all together so that you got one mass of metal there. And I'm sure I got no more problem to think about overweight in the front or anything like that there, as far as the framing being weak is what I'm talking about. I'm not sure what kind of problems I may have caused with the bus original design, but we're due to find out when we put this on the road. But this was done on both the front and the back, the aft end of the torch elastic framing support. The following two photos of the right side wheel well area, showing the framing needed to make a circular stairway, and this is all the framing seen in these past photos are before insulating the framing to help decrease any road noise going into the cabin. All these exposed frames will be totally enclosed to further prevent road dirt and debris rusting out the wheel well area anymore in the future. The following photos are of the front number 3 air tank installed in a totally enclosed area with all new DOT air tubing and all new air valves needed to control the enclosed air system. Looking at it closely, you'll see how nice it looks in there. But you talk about a tight area to try to work in to try and install this stuff. It was really difficult. But now that it's all done and all labeled, I'm totally happy with the outcome. And I hope that all this hard work is showing that I made a right decision in installing what I've done here. And there's going to be an access door and everything to get to this area, as you're going to see in later photos. The following photos are of the end result of painting and everything and enclosing the total wheel wells. And then also you're seeing aluminum diamond plate here. These are access doors to all areas of the bus. And when you see this in my videos, for some particular reason, they may be there for wiring, plumbing, and in this case, this would be for the air system. If you look real close, you will see that in the middle of this picture that you're looking at now, there's an air tank, and that's the only air tank that's exposed to weather. It's not enclosed. And that air tank, the only value that that tank has to my system is that it's supplying air to my horns and also to my windshield wiper. And I didn't want to go through the bother of trying to enclose them for that reason.